Welcome to Stay Wavy TV. Enjoy and ride the wave.
Last night, Shakur Stevenson absolutely dominated Teofimo Lopez in the worst way possible. This was a masterclass performance. Teofimo Lopez literally only won one round out of all 12 fights. And Shakur just made Teo look like an average boxer last night, y'all. He couldn't hit Shakur. We only started to see Teo hit Shakur in that one round that he won where he started going to the body. And that was because Shakur Stevenson took the round off. He had already won, he was already up 7-0. So he took the round off. And then after that, Shakur just went right back to putting belt to ass. You know what I'm saying? Hitting him with his jab. Shakur was throwing uppercuts. Shakur was, and this is what surprised me the most. Shakur Stevenson, who's a 135-pounder who had his first fight at 140 against the best fighter at 140, Shakur Stevenson walked down Teofimo Lopez the entire fight. The smaller man who everybody says can't punch, who has pillow fists, who has hand issues because Shakur is always having hand injuries. This man walked down Teofimo Lopez from round 1 all the way to round 12, bro. Shakur was bullying Teofimo Lopez last night. We've never seen anybody beat Teo in that dominant fashion. Not even George Kambosos. Not even Sandor Martin. This was an absolute domination. And Shakur Stevenson ended up splitting open Teofimo Lopez's eyelid. There was blood all over Teofimo's face, right? Teo actually looked worse than he did when he fought Steve Claggett. You guys remember when Teo fought Steve Claggett and both of his eyes were closed up? He looked worse than that last night. The man was just all busted up, all swollen, bro. Shakur literally stole Teofimo Lopez's confidence last night. I think he stole his soul last night. Teofimo Lopez deleted his Twitter after this fight last night, y'all. You go on Twitter and type in Teofimo Lopez, his account is deleted. You try to go on Teo's Instagram, deleted. Shakur Stevenson retired Teofimo Lopez at 28 years old. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now, going into this fight, I knew Shakur was going to win. But I gave Teo his respect where it's due. At first, I said it was a 50-50 fight. Then, a week before the fight, I switched it and said it was a 60-40 fight in favor of Shakur. But I always said that Shakur was going to beat Teo by majority decision. I didn't think Shakur was just going to just whitewash this guy. He won by unanimous decision, bro. The judges scored the fight exactly how I scored it. They gave Teo one round out of all 12. You know what I'm saying? Bro, Teo looked so slow against Shakur Stevenson last night. And this is a Teofimo Lopez, he said leading up to the fight that Shakur is slow and Shakur is not as fast as everybody thinks he is. That's what Teofimo Lopez said. But Teofimo Lopez, bro, his punches and his footwork, bro, looked so slow last night against Shakur. There was so many times where, Teo was trying to throw combinations and he was hitting the air. And to all of the Shakur haters out there, because listen, I'm a Shakur hater myself, right? But we gotta be honest, guys. We kept talking about how Shakur was running against Edwin De Los Santos. Shakur didn't run at all last night, bro. That man stood right in front of Teo the entire night. He did not run. He stood in the middle of the ring. He was walking Teo down, and he just showed that he has the best defense in boxing. There is nobody in the sport of boxing that has better defense than Shakur Stevenson. Devin Haney's my favorite fighter. His defense is not as good as Shakur Stevenson. And you guys, we also gotta admit this. Why did Teo decide to fight Shakur, but he ducked Devin Haney? I think Teofimo Lopez would have had a much better chance at beating Devin Haney than Shakur Stevenson. Because I don't think Devin Haney's defense is as sharp as Shakur Stevenson. I don't think Devin Haney just is an all-around more skilled boxer than Shakur Stevenson. Devin Haney has shown more flaws in his game than Shakur. Devin Haney has showed that when he throws his jab, he leaves himself open to get countered. We seen that when he fought Ryan. Devin Haney has showed that, he can be dropped. Right? He got wobbled against Jorge Linares. He got dropped multiple times against Ryan Garcia, even though Ryan Garcia was on the Osterine. It still happened. Devin Haney took a lot of punishment in that Ryan Garcia fight. So the fact that Teo didn't want to fight Devin Haney, but he was willing to fight Shakur Stevenson, from the moment that this fight got announced, I said, does Teo know something that we don't know about Shakur? Because I think that Devin would have been he would have had a better chance at winning against Devin than Shakur. Like, Shakur really showed last night, bro. There's levels to this shit, man. And it's crazy because when you talk about the four kings, Shakur was never a part of that four king list. It was Gervonta Davis, Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, and Ryan Garcia. But I think we should kick Ryan Garcia off, and we got to put Shakur on there, man. Shakur is one of the four kings. Now I'm starting to think to myself, I know Shakur Stevenson ducked Devin Haney at 135, but remember, Shakur ducked because he didn't want to take that 30%. He felt like he was, worth more than that, which I disagree. But then Shakur forced the sanctioning bodies to mandate the fight, and that's when Devin Haney ended up moving up to 140. So if Devin Haney really wanted to make that fight, he could have made that fight. He chose to move up to 140. Now, I still think Devin Haney beat Shakur Stevenson. I'm going to be honest, man. I'm riding with my fighter, especially if it happens at 147. Just the fact that Shakur said that he would only fight Devin if it's a rehydration clause. See, whenever you hear a fighter talk about a rehydration clause, that's fear. Whenever you hear a fighter talk about a rehydration clause, that is fear. That's the same thing that Gervonta Davis did when he fought Ryan Garcia. Put him on a rehydration clause because he knew it would make him weak, and you seen what happened. Right? The whole Chris Eubank Jr. Conor Benn situation. Chris Eubank Jr. damn near killed himself to make the first fight, and he had a better time making weight the second fight. But just look at what it did to him. Chris Eubank Jr. was in the hospital after that first fight. His toenail came off his big toe. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not a fan of rehydration clauses. I still think Devin Haney beat Shakur Stevenson at 147. But if the fight happens at 140, 135, Shakur's going to win. But if Shakur has to move up 2 weight classes with no rehydration clause against Devin Haney, who's much bigger than him, I got Devin Haney winning that fight. But congratulations to Shakur Stevenson. He proved that he is a top 5 pound for pound boxer in the world. I would put him at either number 4 or 5. I'd probably say number 5. And listen, man, I look forward to seeing Shakur versus Conor Benn. I think Conor Benn puts on a much better performance than what Teo did last night because Conor Benn is very fast, bro. He's quick, has good footwork, he punches fast. He's not as slow as Teo is. So I think it is a more competitive fight, but I still have Shakur Stevenson winning that fight just because of how good Shakur's defense is and his jab and just his overall skill set. You know what I'm saying? But the real fight to make, guys, is Devin Debo Haney versus Shakur Stevenson. By the way, I told Shakur this on Twitter. I'm never calling Shakur Shakira Tupac Twitterson ever again. After what I seen last night, Shakur Stevenson has all of my respect. Okay, I was wrong about Shakur, and we not calling him that no more on Stay Wavy TV. It's your boy Wavy. I'm not calling him that ever again, bro. All right, Shakur, I apologize. You that nigga, bro. You know what I'm saying? But Keyshawn Davis called out Devin Haney last night, and I have no interest in seeing that. I think it's way too soon for Keyshawn Davis. Congratulations to Keyshawn Davis. I think he had an incredible performance last night. But don't rush to get your first loss, brother. You only have 14 fights professionally. You're in your early to mid 20s. There's no need to rush and get that big fight just so you can get your first loss to where you stop getting high paydays like you're getting right now. Slow your roll. You just had your first fight at 140. There's plenty of fish in the sea for you at 140, bro. If Keyshawn Davis's team is smart, they do not let him fight Devin Haney next. I don't care how much Keyshawn wants to fight Devin Haney. If you're a part of Keyshawn Davis's team, if you're his promotional company, you do not let this man ruin his career by fighting Devin Haney. He's going to make the same exact mistake that Brian Norman Jr. made last year. Devin Haney is going to just outclass him, bro. Probably going to drop him once or twice, and he's going to win the fight by decision. Devin Haney is just too experienced, too skilled, too sharp. If Devin Haney don't want you to hit him, you're not going to hit him, period. So, I want to see Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson this year, not next year, this year. We know Gervonta Davis, you know, instead of being a full-time boxer, he's a full-time Ike Turner, part-time Chris Brown. Okay, that's what Gervonta Davis likes to do when he's not boxing. He likes to, you know, engage in that type of activity, which we don't approve of on Stay Wavy TV, of course, right? But Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson is the biggest fight in boxing, bro. It's the biggest fight in boxing, bro, because you have two guys that have a history together, right? These guys were actually close friends at one point. And then when Devin Haney undisputed 135, Shakur started to get jealous of Devin Haney's success. And then Shakur walks in on Devin after Devin beats Lomachenko. Devin offers Shakur a fight. Shakur turns it down and tries to get a higher percentage. Devin goes to 140. Devin becomes champ at 140. Then he goes to 147. Now Devin's champ at 147. So Shakur, if you really want to chase the footsteps of Terrence Bud Crawford, because that's what you said last night after your win, moving up one weight class is not chasing Terrence Bud Crawford. Terrence Bud Crawford moved up 2 weight classes. Okay, he had one fight at 154, and then he went to 168, nigga. Not 160, 168. So if you are who you say you are, a superstar, then have no fear, the camera's here. Shout out to Lupe Fiasco. But if you are who you say you are, Shakur, move up to 147. You just had one fight at 140. Move up one more weight class to 147. Fight Devin Debo Haney. Devin Debo the Dream Haney at 147 with no rehydration clause. And let's have the biggest fight in boxing, bruh. Let's have the biggest fight in boxing, bruh. Prove me wrong, bruh. I got Devin Haney beating you by majority decision. Prove me wrong. I would love to see it. I would love to see it. So with that being said, man, it's your boy Wavy, Stay Wavy TV. Make sure y'all subscribe, thumbs up the video, leave a comment. Please hype the video. Click that hype button, y'all, please. But where does Teofimo Lopez go from here, chat? Is Teofimo Lopez's boxing career over? Does Teofimo Lopez move up to 147? Does Teofimo Lopez move down to 135? Because Teo's a small guy, bro. Like, Shakur looked bigger than Teo last night, which shocked me. He looked taller than Teo, and he just looked bigger than Teo. So where does Teofimo Lopez go from here? I think Teofimo Lopez would be a good comeback fight for a Gervonta Tank Davis. I think that's a huge fight. You have a Gervonta Tank Davis who's coming off of a draw, right? He only has one fight at 140 against Mario Barrios. This would be his second fight at 140 against Teofimo Lopez, who just got annihilated by Shakur Stevenson. That's a 50-50 fight. Because Tank had a draw against Lamont Rose Jr. I don't think Teo would have had a draw against Lamont Rose Jr. So that's a 50-50 fight. Let me know what you guys think, man. It's your boy Wavy. Thank you guys for watching. Enjoy your Sunday. I'm out.
Stay Wavy TV. Subscribe and ride the vibe.